Would stand with that track.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our most gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for today, and we thank you for all our friends that are with us. We ask that you bless this club, bless this food and nourishment our bodies and our bodies to thy service. In Christ's name,
Double whammy.
You did.
I call the wrong guy. Good to have each one of you here today. Good to have each one of you here today. I guess we'll begin by welcoming our guests, and we'll start with I don't know if everybody was introduced, they weren't. We'll wait to get them to come back. We'll begin with our guests. This is my right.
Can I please announce me and my wife today because she's escort these kids out here today. President Leon, I'm pleased to have the city building inspector my guest today, Mr. Jimmy Morgan.
Bob, you fixing to have a building program or something?
I'm always under construction.
Mr. President, I have several guests here today. Mayor Gary Latch, and Bill Dalton, Dalton Insurance, Joe McEwen, and Milton Senator Jr. They're in different places, so I'll go ahead and do this all at one time.
Well, I'm glad you introduced him because I was stuck with Bill Dalton.
Somebody's got to take care of it.
President Leon, I'm happy to have you today. Steve White.
President Leon, I'm pleased to have me, Brent Lutz, with the Vice County Bank.
Have a minute, Father, Danny Frazier.
President Leon, I'm pleased to have me today, Jay Shannon with Dogwood Plantation, Southwest.
President Leon, she's already been called my better half, and she is my better half, Lance, today.
Sharing with me, my wife today. Well, my wife all the time.
Joe just come off of, he's been on the Clinton campaign. Randy, I think you got your percentage wrong.
Oh.
You're not a hag. Most of the children back in, young people back in, if y'all would they be introduce each one to each one. Start with Jim Benny. Rick Butler. Marley. Tom Pittman.
Carmen
Good to have y'all. Let's give them a little. That's a program you sure don't want to miss. I know they've got a great week lined up for everybody. Certainly won't go. At this time, I guess what?
I need to conduct one little bit of business before you start, okay? Next Tuesday, we meet at City Park. All those that don't come to City Park, come out here and we'll pay for it anyhow. But next week is our election, and I'd like to present the nominees for next year. We have 14, and we elect 7. We have Jimmy Rich, Carol Spencer, Kevin Cooley, Keith Frazier, Carol Little, David Sitton, Jimmy Parrish, Mike Kemp, Randy Farrell, Bobby Roberts, Brian McCullen, Randy Schultz, Larry Thrasher, and Joe Frank. I'd like to present that as a motion that we accept those unless there's any other nominations from the floor.
Here.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
All in favor? Leave. All right, we'll have our stump jumping speech next Tuesday at City Park. You got a work program schedule, is that what you got?
Yeah. That's
You haven't signed up for that pancake breakfast Saturday morning? You don't want to miss that for sure. Anybody got anything else I'm supposed to do? I'm totally out of control today because I was asked to leave my monologue off. Can y'all believe that? But I'll do it for the Dallas cheerleaders. At this time, I'll turn it over to our program cameraman, Bill Caruth.
Thank you, Mr. President. Jimmy, have you got the cheerleaders coming in?
Yeah, they're ready to come.
Come on, bring them on in.
Okay, come on, cheerleaders.
Happy birthday.
Give him that cake in the face, or we're gonna let him eat it?
High in face. Well, I don't know what this means.
Well, I'm fixing to tell you what it means. Quite right. I hate to just take over. Today is kind of a special day. It is the last Tuesday before Leon turns the big 5-0. And so, it's, now, the Kiwanis Club normally does not have roast. So instead, we're going to have a barbecue. And right after I get through basting him, we're going to put him in the oven. But today, we are here to tell you about the man of the hour, Leon Homer Frazier. Jimmy's already brought our special guest in, so let me introduce you to these. Gail, Leon's wife of 32 years. I'll have a little something to read from
It
Gail.
won't be a 34.
Lana, Leon's oldest daughter.
She's up for adoption.
When Brock asked Leon for her hand in marriage, Leon said to Brock, "So you want to be my son-in-law, huh?" And Brock replied, "Not really, but if I'm going to marry your daughter, I don't see the way out of it." And Dorita's Leon's youngest daughter. She once asked Leon for some money to buy an ice cream cone. Leon told her not to ask for anything because she's 21, he'd buy her a car. We've got Ray Shelton, who is Leon's former business partner from Memphis. And Ray has been here before, so I think all of you will want to visit with Ray after the meeting.
I don't trust Ray.
This little feller is Dean Lawrence, who has sung with Leon many a day in the Heisman Quartet. We've got Gene Sanders, Leon's brother-in-law. who
No,
ought to be a member of-
that's my daddy's son-in-law.
Gene ought to be in the Kiwanis Club himself. And then, of course, we've got John Akins, who works out at the place. And
He was unemployed.
Tom Hodem, who is also unemployed. Most of these people will have asked for a little time on the thing. Matter of fact, what we had to do, we had to pare down the list because we had 480 people want to speak at Leon's party. We may have a few Kiwanis in the audience who may want to get a word in edgeways. I'm going to start off. I've probably known Leon longer than anybody here except the skin folks. I met him when I went to work at Wurlitzer in 1964. When I first met him, we were standing in the plant parking lot on a cold, windy March day. He had his coat collar turned up, his hair was blowing in the wind, and he was too proud to go chase it down. He's also so squeaky clean that the only reason he takes a bath is to play with his rubber ducky. He never lies about his age. He merely says he's as old as Gail, and then he lies about her age. We'll stop right now and tell you he's 49, but he'll be the big 5-0 next Monday, which is the main reason we're honoring him today. Very few times do we get a chance to honor a man of such great intelligence, wit, and humor. And today is definitely not one of those days. Actually, I'm the one person in this room that's dangerous to Leon since I've known him so long. Kind of like Groucho Marx once said about Doris Day, I knew her before she became a virgin. Y'all got to hold out down the last. Because Leon's slipping up on the big 5-0, he's in pretty good shape. Just the other day he says, I've still got my health, my heart, my liver's okay, my mind, knock, knock. Who's there? One of the nicest things I can say about Leon is he doesn't have a lot of dandruff. He doesn't have a lot of hair either. A lot of his friends really believe in him. And a goodly number believe in Santa Claus and Easter Bunny, too. Now, by the way, I'm reading most of this because I didn't want to miss anything. He's so rich, he's got 4 Mercedes, one for each direction. He had a redeeming social grace about him, but he traded it in for his first Corvette. He claims he's a self-made man, which is nice of him to take the blame. He's an alumni of the old Dell School where he was the teacher's pet. She was too poor to afford a dog. Later, he made a career change late in life and became a funeral director and fouled up his first 2-car procession. He's known to be an excellent boss at the bus leasing business. He even lets his employees have flexible hours. They can come in anytime they want to before 8 and get off anytime they want to after 5. You may not think of him as much of a talker, but you know he wore out 2 sets of lips before he was 21. He has a family of all girls, and he was hoping for a boy to help him with the homework. He also has a family tradition. Every time he goes on a trip, he brings back a present home to Gail. He even does it when he's got no reason to feel guilty. Gail really didn't want to talk today, but instead she gave me this short note, giving a few insights about living with this great man. And I'm going to read y'all this little note. Dear Kiwanis and friends, thank you for honoring my husband today. Leon and I have been married for 32 years and have yet to have a quarrel. If we have a difference of any kind and I am right, Leon nods his head and accepts my opinion. Once I was asked what happened if Leon's right, and I replied, this has not happened yet. I worked hard to make Leon feel he's the head of the house when he's actually on the head of our entertainment committee. His main hobby is now golf. Some of his friends says he never cusses or carries on when he makes a bad shot. I asked him about it one time, and he said, that's right, but when he spits, nothing ever grows there. Once I complained that golf, that's all you ever think about. Why don't you take a polo with all them horses we own? He told me that polo was just golf with fertilizer. He's just like everyone else who plays golf, he fudges on the score. He once accidentally got a hole in the one marked 0 on his scorecard. He's not really cheap, but one time he told me to go shopping and get anything I wanted, but just not get caught. Once I told him I wanted a fur coat, and he gave me a gun and a trap. He's pretty thoughtful. He leaves the lawnmower where I can find it. Everyone tells me I've got a great sense of humor. I married Leon, didn't I? Sincerely, Gail. Folks, it is with great pleasure that I will now turn the podium over to Leon's former business partner and close friend, Ray Shelton.
Well, I'm going to be like Henry VIII when he married his 12th wife. I'm gonna be with you long. That's the first thing I remember about Leon is a jillion of these stories. And you see us after the program, we'll tell you some more. One of the funniest when it sticks in my mind, he and I were over there at Cairo, you know, trying to make a living. He was doing the interior and I was hanging around the front. You put both our salaries together, we probably wouldn't have been making one good one. But when we'd get a check in, I'd call Leon just within 5 minutes. But I knew he needed the money. So here he'd come with that walk that he's got, you know, in one pace. And he'd walk up to me and I'd hand him that check and he'd fold it just like he'd put it in that right back pocket and walk back out. I wanted to open that thing and look at it so bad. I wondered when he looked at that envelope. Another thing, we used to build interiors ourselves. And we built one in record time, 1983. We worked day and night. Now, I'll tell you why we did that. We had all our buses leased and they still wanted a bus. So I asked Leon about the Heisman had bought a 35-foot 4104. I said, you reckon you'd get those boys to let us have that bus? He said, I might. So he made it okay, so we got that bus, and we let something happen against all scruples. We let the man furnish his driver. And everything went along to the end of the tour, and he called and said, well, I've got, I think it's about $3,500 to send you. You want me to mail it or send it with the driver? I said, oh, just send it with the driver. We hadn't seen that driver since. So we stayed up night and day working on that bus. That's the only way we keep our mind on what we were doing. We checked on the driver a little bit. He had 5 Social Security cards, and that many driver's licenses, and that many names. So we never did find him. We never did find the guy that leased the bus. But he came in one morning. This is a little scary. Dad had come home one night, and so he came in the next morning. He just walked in that door and said, I'm not eating another bite till we find that bus. Scared me to death. I said, it was like that strong. I prayed old Leon and I would starve because I was going to stay with him. His word true. Then we formed a little group between his family and Gene and Joe and Kiwanis, my wife. So we got us a tour. Well, we got us a date. Up somewhere in up north. And the bus ran out of fuel. Well, you know, fuel tanks didn't work back in those old buses. We stopped and we finally found a place to buy some fuel. So about all of us, about 6 of us, walked up to it and bought 10 gallons worth of diesel. Walked back down and put it in the bus. And of course, I was the driver. And I was sitting in front as they poured that fuel in. If you ever run out of fuel in the diesel, you know it's paid. We got that train, and I left. I wanted to get to that service station, and I looked back through the rear view mirror, about 6 of them standing there looking at me. Where in the world are you going? For some reason, which I don't know, all the 6 bay doors were up. We were going down that road. They walked to the station. You know, I guess I could tell 100 of these stories, but I'm sure other people need to talk. One thing that really got to me I won't ever forget, we never did miss a date picking up by people. So it was he and I and a couple other guys, and all of them had gone, and I asked him to go home that night, but he probably hadn't been home in a week. We'd working trying to get that bus out. And I heard something roll back up in the driveway. Just got to me a little bit. It was Leon. I said, what are you doing back here? He said, I come to help you. I couldn't leave. So that's what I call a good friend. He is my friend, and I love him.
Our next speaker is going to be one of Leon's old buddies from the Heisman Quartet, Dean Lawrence. Come on up, Dean.
I'm gonna get up here so I'll have something to hold to, but I'm not used to getting up in front of the crowd. I'm glad to be a part of this gala event today, and maybe D-Day is for it, maybe what he's thinking. Do y'all remember several years ago, he was talking to me. He said, you know, I never did bother me. I never did dread coming 40. He says, what I didn't know is when they got 40, you just went to pieces. So, 10 years later, Leon, I take it from somebody that knows you're 50, but you'll get over that too. just take you a little while. I met Leon in late fall of 1970, just before we recorded our first album. And that began a long-lasting relationship, which I cherish very much. We've been through a lot of good times, times that I wouldn't take nothing for. We've had experiences that I'll never forget. And we've had some that hadn't been so good. Close as I ever came to dying, we were together one night. It'd take me a long time to relate that story. But through it all, I found Leon. I know what kind of man he is. I really do. For about 10 years,
Tell him.
Y'all know what I almost did? They told me to speak about 5 minutes. Well, you know, I couldn't tell you everything I know that in 5 minutes. I started just having news conference today, Leon, and people ask questions. And then, in truth, and maybe adding a little truth, I was going to respond to just anything anybody wanted to know. But I thought that might get out of hand, so
We may cut it in one, so we won't tell nothing from that podium that's not totally true. Is that right?
I decided that wouldn't work. But like I say, we spent a lot of time together, and for about 10 years, we probably spent more of the waking hours together than we did with our families. During this time, Leon and I both had 2 daughters who were in their young and formative years that Daddy wasn't there a lot of the times when we probably would like to have been. We made a lot of sacrifice, but for some reason, God chose to honor our ministry, and we wouldn't take anything for it. But you know, when we first met Leon, I said he was like 24-year-old. He didn't know nothing. never had been anywhere. And he was timid. He was shy. And back then, you know, if you just looked at him real straight, you think he's going to pucker up and cry. Now, that's hard to believe now, isn't it? And years later, I never forget when we first started singing. First time we ever went into a motel, and back then, that's when we were pulling a trailer. We didn't have a bus, and so we had to get a motel. We got one room. We did that for 2 reasons. One reason, we all want to stay together, and secondly, our budget didn't provide for the second room. So, but the first night, we went in there, and I thought he was so bad, I thought he never was going to pull his pants off. And way over in the morning, but during those years, he was a lot younger than he is now. He was full of energy, you know. He's always been hyper. And we'd go in to go to bed and go to sleep, and he'd go get him about 6, 8 Cokes and a bucket of ice, sit up and drink Coke. Television all night. But, like I say, I could tell you a lot of things, but one thing that's always stood out in my mind about Leon, and I say this truthfully, he has such a competitive spirit. If he wants something, he wants the very best. And if he plays a game, he wants to win. Used to, we'd go somewhere, maybe on the facility, they'd have a gymnasium, and we'd play basketball. But he wanted to win. Leon's got a nice story he likes to tell me about my basketball play, but we're not going to let him get started on that. A lot of nights we might be out somewhere at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning looking at a bowling alley. And we'd go bowling. He always wanted to have the high score. We're somewhere one night, and this must be something that doesn't happen very often. He literally bursted a pin And the manager of the bowling alley came around and gave the bowling ball to Leon, and I guess he still got it. But the one thing that sticks out, let me look around. One night we were at the Singing and the Smokers up in Bryson City, North Carolina. We had been to the Singing when they had it in Silver, North Carolina, but this was when they had it at the airport. This was before the Inspirations made all that great investment and went out and built that park over on the hill that they call Inspirations Park. So we were there that night, and I forgot there was a whole bunch of major groups there. And there was a big sign out back there. They were telling who all was going to be there that night. And they had this black boy was going to be there that night. You know what they did? They had him billed as gospel music, greatest organ player. I said, we're into it now. So we patiently waited our time, and we got on stage at night. Leon was in rare form. Y'all not big old heavy blue organ we used to look around. He did everything, just put it on his arm. Just almost made the thing talk. But when he got finished that night, everybody on that mountain knew who the organ grinder was. I guarantee you that. And one of our fans kind of eased around this black one and said, well, I said, you're the gospel music greatest organ player. I said, I'm not too sure about that. But that's always stuck out in my mind. You know, Leon's also, he's a pretty shrewd businessman. And I want to tell you a story. And now, Ray, you're privy to everything I'm going to tell. I'm not going to call any names, because if you did, you know who I was talking about. But this was back when Leon and Ray were in Carville, and they say they were struggling. You take that for what it's worth. But they had this man's bus that they were with. And if I told you the man's name, you know who I'm talking about. Well, they had done a lot of work on this man's bus. They wouldn't pay him. I mean, they owed Ray and Leon a lot of money. So they couldn't get him to pay. So he called them up one day and says, I've got a real important tour that I got to put my bus on. He says, it's got to leave at a certain time. But there's some things that needs to be done before it goes out. Would you take care of it? He's talking to Leon. I said, yes, sir. You bring it down here, we'll be glad. Well, the driver brought it down. You know what Leon did? He kidnapped that bus. He did. He brought the thing to Corinth and took it out here in the country somewhere and hid it. And then he got back to his office. He served notice on the man. Says, I've got your bus. You get it back, you're going to pay it. Miss Ma, this tour's got to leave. So I said, I don't care, he said. So you heard what I said. Said, I've got your bus. And if you want it, you're going to have to pay me. Because you can't do that. That's against the law. And I said, it may be. So, well, we'll just have the sheriff down there to pick you up. You know who the sheriff was back then? Leon knew Bill Gant wasn't going to come. So that wasn't very much of a blood. I don't know how long that went on, but the days and the time began to narrow down. So finally, they knew that Leon and Ray meant business. He flew his driver into Memphis with a cashier's check to cover all charges. Leon picked him up at the airport, brought him right down here to Tom Hold'em's service station, and made him wait. So he went and got the bus, brought him back, and sent him on his merry way. So I take it, y'all owe him any money, you just will get paid. Because he's going to get it one way or the other. I know there's a lot of other things to be done today, but in all seriousness, I appreciate this man. I'm an only child, don't have any brothers, don't have any sisters, but Leon, along with the rest of the Heisman, has been about the closest thing to a brother that I've ever had or could have even possibly thinking of having. I consider it an honor to claim him as my friend, he's my buddy, and he and I have just been real close for many, many years. And Leon, just got to say one thing, you know, for the last several years, Leon has had a substantial measure of accomplishments. He's been very successful. Son, if you make as much, have as many achievements the next 50 years, as you've had these first 50, you're going to have to get up a little earlier, a little later. We love you, and I know all the people at College does.
Thank you, Dean. That's a nice outfit you wear. Somebody will come back in style. Coming to the musical portion of our program today, we have Brother Bill's son-in-law and Brother Bill's grandson. And they're going to give us a little musical treat. Gene, come on up with whoever that is. I don't know what y'all
Yeah. Well, we've got a little song that Keith has written for the program today. You can't even sing songs somebody else. I got my words because I was going to do last night. We were going to write this song about tennis, but we've been playing tennis with Leon for a couple of years now. And his tennis game is so terrible that Keith and I can beat him any given night. So, you can get that on tape? Yeah. So, we thought we'd write it about Leon's new love. And that's not a woman. Now, don't get upset yet. It's God, as someone has already mentioned. So, Keith, I think I'll let you introduce the song and tell them how you got the inspiration for this song.
Have y'all ever heard this song by George Jones, He Stopped Loving Her Today?
Never heard it.
This, he stole that song. He did, yeah. We have got the original version of that song. We wrote it back several years. Did we write this several years? We wrote it, and we have got George Jones singing Jimmy Fisher out of all your We're gonna get millions one of these days. This is a real good song. It's probably real touching to a lot of you, so make sure you got the napkins and all handy. You might want to wipe some tears. This is especially for Leon and Frazier. And I've grown to love over many years. So this is the way the song should have gone. This is the way the song should have gone. He said, I'll love it till I die. Gail says you'll forget in time. As the years went slowly by, Doc still stayed on his mind. He kept Jack's picture on his wall. Jack Nicklaus watched the PGA now and then. He still loved it through it all. That's good. As Greg Norman joked again. Anytime. He kept his golf clubs by his bed. Not every time. He bought them new in '92. He had underlined in red every golf course he played through. I went to see him play today.
Well, wasn't that a sight?
Oh, and all those bitter tears. He missed the greens by a country mile. First time I'd seen him cry in years. He'll turn 50 Monday.
Big Bible is on him.
He's lost his mind, so there he's gone. And soon he'll need a hearing aid. He'll turn 50
winner of the drawing, peddling drawing among the people that wanted to speak today, and the only one we can again is Lloyd Sharp. Sharp, come on up.
That drawing wasn't fair.
By the way, we're running low on time now. Sharp,
All right, I promise not to
We'll
talk.
give him a minute to respond.
I promise not to talk more than an hour. You know, Leon has said that nothing but the truth is told from up here. Now, I've got just a few things that I want to call to y'all's attention about this man who serves as our president. He is a typical preacher's son. He's bad. I wish he was here too. I've got some things to say about Brother W.B. You know, Leon's made fun of Bell School out there. I'm here to tell you that this man graduated with full honors at that famous Bell School and Casa. That famous learning center that has produced such famous men as Larry Stick Stanford and Jumbo Wilkinson. You know, Bell School was the predecessor of the school like we've got now up at Corinth High School. It had all of the modern facilities, high-tech tools, all the things that would make kids learn, computer labs, so forth. Even had separate outdoor facilities. You know, Leon was selected to as the most likely to succeed out there because he was the only student that could walk on 12-foot tom walker. Some of y'all don't know what a tom walker is. I'm going to tell you what, it's a stick that you nail a 2x4 on and you stand on it. You walk still. That's what it is. But Leon was mighty famous because he could handle them 12-foot tom walker. And it's also reported that he excelled in being able to play a piano. Now, his trick was he'd cover it up with a sheet and play it. Never look at it. One final thing I want to bring up, Bill, is that Leon excels as a negotiator. He is taught by the best, Brother W.B. Frazier. I remember a conversation with a fellow out in California that was selling Leon a bus. The fellow's name was Sal. I cannot remember what his last name was, but his most famous words to me, he said, Mr. Sharp, you know, that man knows how to grind. One final thing, Leon, you know, was excellent with animals. Early on, he had a horse. Just one problem with that horse, Leon forget to feed him from time to time. I guess the horse got just a little ornery, I don't know. I'm a town boy. I don't know a whole lot about horses. But I've been told that Brother W.B. convinced him that he did not need to forget to feed that horse anymore. One final thing, Bill. You know, Leon could have been something if he'd have tried. The most famous story, I guess, that I've heard is when Leon decided to go into this bus business that he's in. He made a call on the local bank. And
There's an S on that.
he applied for a loan. I don't remember how much money it was reported that he applied for.
But unfortunately, the banker didn't see much in that bus lease business. So he patted Leon on the head and said, "Son, it's for your own good. I'm going to have to turn you down."
It's time is drawing nigh. You know, from day one, it has been customary to let the roastee or the barbecuee have a few words. And so I'm only going to talk about 10 more minutes before we turn it over to him. I thought I'd give you just a few more facts about our honoree today. And here's one of them. He personally doesn't have ulcers, but he's a carrier. Some folks can talk for hours on the subject, but Leon doesn't need a subject. He's thinking about getting a personality bypass. One of his daughters asked him one time if President Clinton died, who would get the job? He said, probably a Democratic undertaker. There's nothing he wouldn't do for me. In fact, for years he's gone by without doing anything. The biggest disappointment in his life came when he found out that M&M's would actually melt in your hand. I'm not going to make a fool out of Leon. When he responds, he'll do that for himself. Leon is a very humble man. After you hear him for a little bit, you'll understand why. Leon, let me know if any of the stories today hurt your feelings, because there's a bunch of people that couldn't be here that wanted to make a list of them. And he's working his way through 3 stages of hair: parted, unparted, and departed. He also says there's two ways to tell when you're 50, the loss of memory, and he can't think of others. Don't worry about turning 50, Leon. If you was a redwood tree, you'd just now be reaching puberty. He had a lot of charisma in his younger days, but it's cleared up. Last year he took so much Geritol he almost overdosed, or not been had a call. Gail says the night out with him is to go out on the porch and watch TV through the window. He's always been a good example for all of us. He doesn't smoke, drink, or chew, and no evidence he ever took a mind-expanding drug. And honestly saying, all the years I've known Leon, I've never heard anyone question his intelligence. Matter of fact, I've never even heard anybody mention it. Now here he is, our very own aphid on the rose bush of the Kiwanis Club. Ladies and gentlemen, our man of the hour, Leon Frazier.
What I'm supposed to do.
It's been requested that you open that package the very first thing, not the cake, now the package.
It's all been a secret. I don't know why it changed now. I'll have to say, can y'all get a good look at that? Well, I won't comment. Did this come from the Unabomber? While I'm opening this, I will say one thing. Somebody who was talking about Bell School, he left out the mayor. He's a top graduate of Bell School.
You can't correct that, Mr. Mayor. I'm sorry. I
Well, I was just thinking that probably is because everybody went to Bell School. I was looking at, Jimbo and Larry and me and you were all bald-headed.
They talked at us, but
That's no that what we believe.
just right quick, if you didn't go to Bell School, we were poor. Daddy said we lived on Poor Avenue, and the further you went, the poorer they got. We lived in the last house, and Jerry Lash and them lived next to us. But I tell you how poor we were. On Friday evening, now these young people won't have any idea what I'm talking about. Friday afternoon, they had the milk truck run Monday, and they had white milk and chocolate milk. So they didn't want to keep it over the weekend because it might run, so they'd bring it around and let you drink it during books. Late in the afternoon, for 2 cents a bottle, 3 cents a bottle,
chocolate, 2 for white. Well, we just sat there and watched everybody because we didn't have 2 cents, 3 cents. But our great enjoyment is when you get through drinking that, can I bust your box? Have y'all ever busted a milk box? That'll tell you age. How do you get this stopped? This is not life. I would relate a quick story to y'all. That's mine and like my kids. The first time I ever seen one of these mirrors, y'all remember the first mirror y'all ever seen? Y'all don't? How old are y'all? The first one of these I ever seen, see, my wife was acting funny around the house, and I kind of suspected her. Y'all know what I mean? So one day I was looking around through the house, and I pulled this drawer open, and I looked in there. That's who you've been running around with. Found it right off what you doing. Had his picture in the drawer. I tell you, I don't have anything to say because they told me not to say anything. So I didn't come prepared to say it. But we have kept this thing sacred up here where we don't lie up here at this podium. We do tell the truth. I say they didn't all tell the truth today. But, I'm reminded of this. Hillary Clinton claims she was at the event of Sir Edmund climbing Mount Everest. Did y'all hear about her claiming that she was there the day he climbed Mount Everest? Squire magazine says this is impossible since she was 6 years. This happened 6 years before she was born. Hillary says that's no problem for her to explain. See, she loves to lie. And Dave, what I want to tell you, I was shy several years ago, but today I still don't like to undress in front of 4 men. I just can't make myself do it. I still wait till the lights on. And then I go to the bathroom. If there's 4 guys in there, I want to hear 4 snores before I don't know what to say. Keith, I would tell y'all what happened Sunday, but I won't. But I told Dr. Frazier yesterday, Mother's been in the hospital, and he kind of gave us running. And I said, I want to tell you one thing. My nephew carries a gun. If y'all don't know about that, you'll have to ask about it right quick. Somebody's trying to break into some cars at our church Sunday. Keith run down, shot twice, and they stopped. Where am I? Who am I? That makes a good song. Who am I? Has anybody else got anything else they want to say?
Board meeting.
We'll have a brief board meeting after this because we've got a lot of serious things. I'm glad all of y'all came. And I don't know if y'all, Tom Hold'em, everybody knows who Tom Hold'em is. Tom Hold'em and I used to play together a lot when we were children. And we didn't have a whole lot to play with. But we'd take a cat and a seagrass rope and harness that thing up, hook it to the dump truck. You ought to see it and go back and trade that load of dirt. his sister's umbrella, and his brother parachuted out, and it went bottom side up, broke his arm, and his sister was whooping him, standing there with a broke arm. I'm not telling you nothing but the truth. That's what done. His brother worked for a ceramic tile place, and them tiles in was metal. He brought a box of them home, so we was out there one Sunday afternoon slinging things. Boy, they just go across the patch lot just getting it. Todd's brother's left-handed, he slung his and it went out across there and hit that chicken, just got both legs. Took both legs off, and we were scared to carry it to the house, so we just carried it to the pond, dropped it in the pond, and made about 3 blubbers. My 2 daughters, my oldest daughters, one of them used to stand at please. I've been in Kiwanis nearly all of her life. Don't she look like my sister to y'all? She used to look like my daughter, but now she looks like my sister. But y'all remember all the late spouses night when we'd bring her families from heavy to Kiwanis? Y'all remember that? Christmas. You know, y'all never did see the one for a long time because I'd have to go borrow a child. She was the ugliest thing you ever seen.
That's because you were introducing my wife.
Well, I take back what I said. It's still true, though. Who's supposed to draw out this box, Bill? These boxes.
I want to get my name for a change. I don't think my name does it.
Winner of this.
Ray Mark won an autograph of
3 weeks
song.
with me.
Autograph of the song that was sung today.
What can I say? I thank all of you, most of you. To all of our guests, we welcome you back. We're a whole lot more organized and better shape than we were today, normally. I'll guarantee you that. But we welcome you back anytime. All of our new guests, I can't tell you how much I appreciate having y'all in the club. What would you be if you wasn't a Kiwanian? I'd be ashamed. We're happy to have some of our elite club that they think friends here today. We wouldn't call names because there's more than one club, so you can guess who I'm talking to. But I'll look at them every now and then as I'm talking, so you might guess who I'm talking about. Randy, you're looking good.
Thank you, Leon.
Glad to have Randy here today. He'll never let you down. He'll mow right over. Brief board meeting. Saturday morning, anything needs to be said about pancakes? Flippers, bring you flippers. Don't bring those.
Ring the bell.
As I ring the bell, you may stand in the chair.